And there are often a lot of people out there that just want to specialize in a specific job role within financial planning. Not every administrator wants to become a power planner. Not every power planner wants to become a financial advisor, right?
Yeah.
And I think the companies that can create career frameworks and structure within a role and take somebody on a journey with that, and over time their role responsibility goes up, but more importantly as well, the reward goes up. So the more they provide in respect of knowledge, skills, the more they develop, you reward them, and ideally reward the person that wants to be a career power planner, or reward the person who wants to be an administrator or a career financial planner, and build a really great ecosystem to keep them happy within that role. So obviously people who are happy in roles where they know that they've got opportunity and they can add value and they can get reward for that, they stay.
That's exactly right. And that's what we've tried to build. So we've effectively built a kind of a 5-step framework for someone within each role. And it goes all the way from kind of junior to exceptional. And there is really clear outline and a transparency around this, around, right, at different levels, what you might earn, what that entails in order to sort of get to that next step. And it's not any forcing anyone to, always be progressing. If you don't want to, you might be perfectly happy kind of, with where you're at. But ultimately, I think a lot of people and a lot of the people that we have in our organization really do want to progress. But as you said a second ago, don't necessarily want to jump ship into a completely different role that they're not actually really, their heart isn't in it. Yeah.
And what I loved about when I started speaking to you both, you and Chris, you sent me so much information about each individual role, and about the business, about the direction of the business, the culture of the business, how you operate. And I found that super interesting because look, I'm a background in talent attraction. So for me to be able to get the right person within your business, we need to understand your business. But you two have sat back and you've really, really thought about exactly how to structure and reward people, not just based on money, but based on their purpose and worth and value to the business as well. So a lot of that information is there. And I assume if anyone ever applies for a job with you, etc., you provide that information to them so they can really understand what that journey looks like, what the roadmap looks like when they become part of the Frazer James team, right?
That's exactly right. So we want to give someone a complete roadmap in terms of, okay, like where am I now? Where could I be? And where do I want to get to? And make sure that all lines up. But ultimately, it comes back to sort of having big company benefits, but a small company culture a lot of the time. So we want to attract really great talent, but then it's about rewarding and retaining those people. And included in that is a lot of flexibility. Part of it is the remote working thing and people being able to work from home, which seems to be a more and more important thing, and it's playing in our favour certainly at the moment. And it also allows us to attract talent from across the UK as well. We don't just hire people in and around Bristol. Yes, that's where our head office is, but ultimately, we have the team spread right across the country, and within that kind of framework as well, we also want to sort of give people flexibility around, the hours they're working to some degree, where they work from. So within the contract, people can work abroad for, I think it's up to 3 months to keep their UK residency, but can work abroad. And we have various other benefits that I think ensure people sort of feel really rewarded and benefits that people really value these days as well.
Okay. I do want to get into psychology of being a business owner that has the confidence to build a model that is remote working. Because I've been working with multiple businesses. You've got one camp that says flexible working is the way forward, and they're building a business on trust. You've got the other camp that says get in the office at 7 o'clock. I want to see you every single day. And I've seen both those environments. I've seen how and I've even done it myself because I had a recruitment business. I remember I had people working 4-day weeks. I did the same with people working abroad. So I had Charlie, who was working over in Portugal for quite some time. So I myself have personally experienced some of the flexible working ethos that you guys have started your business with. I just want to know, let's get into it, because people are going to be listening to this thinking, I really would love to work remote. I'd love to go and work over in France, maybe during the summer or whatever, right? Let's talk about the realities of that. First off, I want to know is, why are you offering it? Where did that come from? Why have you set your stall on being a remote working business? Is it to do with you, Chris? Where did it come from?
I think it comes down to when we set up the organization, we wanted to build the business that we would love to work for, and attacking it from that sort of angle. And then in terms of the two polarized sort of examples there of where you were when you were in your previous business, we very much fall onto that side of flexibility, largely because we're trying to attract A players, we call it, internally. And I think people who are exceptional at the role and really kind of want the flexibility, I think they're going to be drawn to a business like ours rather than a bigger business that require you to be in the office at 8 o'clock and do your hours, etc. What we measure is outcomes. We're outcomes orientated. As a small business, we can kind of measure and monitor that. I appreciate that gets harder as you grow, and the kind of evaluation of that becomes more difficult. But right now, we're finding that works incredibly well in terms of no micromanagement, maximum autonomy, and really leaving people to do the best work that they can, that's flexible around their lives. And so far, that's been a good decision.
Great stuff. I've got to ask, how do you maintain the boundaries? Because I think we as human beings do need some form of boundaries and structure. How do you maintain what that is? Do you build out sort of almost like a size of a playground that you're allowed to play in? Like, how does it work for you? How do you know if someone's not just overstepping and doing what they want? Because you're obviously saying outcomes orientated, but if you're going to put outcomes in there, is there boundaries around that?
Yeah.
Are there expectations? Do you have targets?
Sure.
How do you determine what the outcome actually is based on the person? So I'm really interested in that, because when I've had that in the past, one person could sit at their desk at 7 o'clock in the morning at home and be really kind of on it, whereas somebody else would be like at the gym and they'd lose interest, but then they'd do some absolute brilliance like for a couple of days.
Sure.
I'm a bit like that.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just like,
tell.
Sometimes I just like, my brain just doesn't want to work, so I'd rather go and rest and then go at it again the next couple of days.
Yeah.
How do you set the expectations? Because that's one of the biggest challenges, because as a business owner, you have the way that you work and you kind of almost try to project that onto everybody else because it works for you. How do you create flexibility when you have individuals that are so individual? Yeah.
So I think there's a few things. There are some boundaries, first and foremost. Like we have team meetings at certain times, like that everyone comes to. We have full company meetings, and also people are asked to kind of like report on what they're planning on doing for the week, what they've done for the week, plan out their weeks, etc. Ultimately, though, the boundaries are not, you need to be working from this time to this time. It's, are you producing? Are you getting the things done that you'd say you're going to get done? And then if we're falling down in any way, it's just about honest conversations.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think, with the type of people that we, our organization doesn't have, I guess, room for people who need to be told what to do each step of the way and need to be sort of micromanaged. I think that person just isn't the best fit for a company like ours. And that's okay. They're probably a great person for another firm. But ultimately, the people that we have working for us and that we're looking to, work with in the future, they're people that really are engaged and enjoy their work, and they get lots of stuff done. And whether they get it done at 9 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock in the morning, I don't really care.
Okay. Trust.
Trust.
You trust these people, but then you're also looking for proof from them that they've delivered on what they've said they can do for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So you go quite deep at the interview stage.
Yes.
You kind of, okay, good. All right, yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it? Sometimes we don't want to get that halo effect where we sit in front of somebody and they're a good person, right? But we really like them and therefore we think they can do the job. But actually it's about like, when have you worked like this before? Why do you feel like this is going to work for you? How are you going to structure your days? What's important to you? Do you have children? Is the gym important to you? I've gone through it myself. Like Kerry sat in the corner at the moment. Like Kerry has 2 kids. I know she thinks exactly the same way as me. She's quite neurodivergent with ADHD. I know there are things that will stress her out and won't stress her out. So what I'm trying to do is build a process around her that's going to get the best out of her, so she's not double thinking what I'm thinking all the time, because we've created a framework that's going to work for her. And that actually will take a little bit of time to define, but I want her to be in the gym because I know that being in the gym is going to make her happy. Absolutely. I want her to make sure that her kids come first, because looking after her kids is going to make her happy. Happy Kerry is going to be a happy person in my business. And that's the way I think that you're operating.
That's exactly it.
Beautiful.
That really resonates. You know, our new kind of financial planner who has gone through our associate planner pathway is a young father, right? He's got 2 kids, has to juggle and spin multiple plates. And we want the business to work for him. Now, yes, there's client meetings and they've got to come first, and there's certain times that we have to be available. But outside of that, there's a lot of flexibility for whether it's school runs in the mornings or whatever else. And I think he really values that, right? And as an organization that can give that to him, where he can be his best self in the job, but then also be the best dad he possibly can be, that's a win-win-win.